Welcome back to Hanoi, Vietnam. This is the second part of my budget travel to this place. Hey, it's MeloCat here. Every week I share videos of what it's like to raise 7 rescued and adopted cats in a tiny apartment as a full-time cat mom. When away from home, I cheapskate travel, exploring less conventional places around the world. So if you're into animals, budget travel, adventures, and or explorations, hey, please consider subscribing and turning on that notification. This is like the most local place I've ever been to so far, and I had a hard time with the menu. And I ended up like Google Translate, and I got some pregnancy check, and I was like, what the hell, man? Okay, anyway, this is like the real pho, so it's gotta be good, right? I mean, oh, legit, totally legit. One of my favorite things to do in Vietnam is a Google Translate. Sometimes things just get so lost in translation. Wow, very honest people here. That's crazy. Like I didn't speak the language, and I just blindly pointed at some gentleman's food, and I was like, okay, I'll have this chicken noodle, right? Chicken pho. And then I didn't know like how much it was, right? And I was like, they could easily charge me for the most expensive thing on the menu, but they didn't. And yeah, so they ended up charging me for the thing as is. So touristy friendly. God, everywhere I go, there's like sweat dripping down my chest and my back. This is so not normal for me because I usually don't sweat. But I guess in Vietnam I have to get used to it. I'm waiting for my Grab. Grab is the same as taxi, except for yeah, you have to make sure that the license plate and the make it actually matches what it says on there, so you don't get on the wrong car. If you ask me what Hanoi is like, I would probably tell you it's just like any big cities I've been to, except for it's a lot hotter and the shopping malls are just as nice. I decided to check one out just to see what the cost of living in Hanoi is like, and I was just looking at the price of things and to find out the portions are really small. The local stuff are relatively cheap. These worm-shaped coconut biscuits are so good. Word of advice, if you're on a budget, don't get anything imported because they're relatively more expensive. But the cost of living in Hanoi generally is quite cheap in general. One thing I noticed is that there's not a lot of stray dogs here. This is actually owned by the shop and they're trying to look after him. That's quite nice. Speaking of portions, this is tiny. Oh, I just had to show you this. And I walked by this war museum. It's actually a bit morbid, but then I think it's still worth looking at. I'll show you in a different video. Here it is. This is one of their famous train street. But before I start, I must take a look at this cat. Wait, is that a cat? Yeah, it is a cat. So what's the point of a train street? So these shops are on both sides of the train track. And from what I know, when the train gets here, everyone just have to retract everything immediately. I wonder how that works. But then the train's not here anytime soon. So I can just walk like this fella here. This is a train street that I'm on. And the gentleman just said the train's gonna be here in 15 minutes. 15 minutes? That means it's never gonna come here because it's not even that long. But yeah, this is where like shops and you know, residences are. And the funny thing is, I guess they'll probably have to pack away some of these things. I don't know about, you know, removing my motorcycle in a split second, but it should be okay. I guess people are used to it. I've heard of other countries that have similar stuff, but I've never been to one. So this is the first time. This is so refreshing to see local shops that are not franchised. And I noticed that some of these shops are combined with residents. So I guess they live here too. And I noticed this is really cool. Look at this. Can you imagine getting out of your house when you're drunk? You're probably just gonna miss that ladder. Or I might just miss that ladder. And this is also very old school. For those of you who don't know what this is, these are actually like stoves that you cook with, except for you burn coal. This is super old school. This is old school too. The last time I saw this was in Canada. Exposed electrical wires like that. Huh. Is that a fire hazard, do you think? You know what they say, curiosity doesn't kill the cat. I just decided to walk into here and see where it leads me to. It looks like it's the entrance to a bunch of homes. Yep, that's my hunch. And judging by the number of motorbikes, I think a number of families actually live here. Wait, does that mean I just walked into somebody's house? Or estate? Anyway, I noticed they put their stuff just outside like this, so I guess there's no risk of stuff getting stolen? Huh, this is really interesting. Oh, old school design. And I think I just walked into somebody's house. Okay, let's get out of here. Sorry. I was at a convenience store earlier and the shop clerk said this local place is very good. It's one of her favorites. So I decided to check it out. Took a while to find. Oh, yay! English on the menu! Woohoo! So we were at Circle K and it turned out that one of the girls who work in Circle K can actually speak Mandarin. So I was asking her, it's like, what do people eat when it's not pho, which is rice noodles and soup, and if they don't eat banh mi's, which is banh mi's, I think, which is Vietnamese sub, like what else do people actually eat? So she's like, oh yeah, we actually got a lot of other stuff, but we're not sure if we like it. I'm like, yeah, sure, come on, like hit me. And so she suggested this place, and I finally found it with the help of Vince and some other lady that was, I don't know where she is anymore. But anyway, one part of me thought, it's like, no, she's trying to convince me to go to her restaurant. That's not the restaurant. But then when I look carefully, actually it is. It is. Yeah, it's just covered by the thing. Okay, third day of my trip. Finally, I'm not having rice noodles or Vietnamese sub. This is really weird. And this is almost like the first time I'm seeing vegetables too. Yeah, which reminds me, I haven't had vegetables for 2 whole days. Damn. Okay, you look? I'm kind of half squatting. Yeah, you got me. That's my ass. But yeah, that's, look at, I'm not even sitting. I'm kind of like squatting. That's how low the chairs are. I don't know why. We tried to check out this art gallery, but it turned out it's a lot smaller in real life than what it looked like on the TripAdvisor app. Ooh, cats. This guy's like the second shop cat I saw, and they're actually very looked after. One of my favorite things to do in Hanoi is looking at people's cats. So chill. This Vietnam trip so far is nothing but awesome. Cats! Brother. Sister. Oh, brother and sister. Oh, wow. Thank you. What's the name? What's the name? Yellow. Black. Thank you. Oh, hello. So cute. And did I mention that the shop owner is so nice, because we've eaten already, so we're not gonna buy anything here this time. But she just treated us just as nice. I can't complain about this Vietnam vacation. There's just so many cats. This is awesome. And did you notice that no matter if they're strays or owned, the animals here are generally slimmer. Oh, by the way, this is a night market, and my experience is that they're tiny, but no. We got dancing Spider-Man, and this place is the size of a village. That's how big this place is, but you gotta watch out, because in crowded places anywhere, there could be pickpockets. So beware of that. Is that nail polish? Oh my god, I'm rubbing in people's sweat. I'm so hot. Just keep walking. Stay to the rule. Don't change your pace. Don't stop for no reason. We made it. All right, it got too hot. Had to find a place with air conditioning. So we found this restaurant, but we noticed there's a lot of Chinese influences in the design, which is not uncommon here in Vietnam. But the only thing is, they close kind of early. At the same time, I'm really glad the cost of living in Hanoi is really low because I can just walk into anywhere and afford most things. That's their beer brand, by the way. Meow. And these cats, the night market cats, are so smart. They know where to find food. What's weasel coffee? I see that sold everywhere. Huh. This is how they listen to live bands outside? Pretty chill, huh? Good for socialization. So everywhere I go, basically, it's just Grab. It's relatively cheap and safe, and the GPS here is actually really good. So you don't actually have to worry about, them not being able to find you. And when you type in like the landmarks here, it's actually quite accurate. So I was quite proud of that.